We want to talk about a new book targeting young children. The book, What's an Abortion Anyways, is a Kickstarter.com creation. That quote is a medically accurate, non-judgmental, and gender-inclusive resource for young folks about abortion care. In this book, you'll learn about what an abortion is, some of the reasons people have abortions, and a few of the ways people might feel about their abortions. What are your thoughts on this?
Abortion is murder. Now, if you have had an abortion and you have come and sought the Lord in true humbleness and said, forgiveness, I want you to live with no guilt and no shame. This is not to condemn anyone that's had an abortion, but if you're coming in alignment with a book for children to teach them about murder, taking the life, stripping a child of their life, that God-given life, this is purely demonic and an attack straight from the enemy. Right. This is not okay, especially for our children.
Yeah. The fact that it has earned over $20,000 on Kickstarter.com, and they're starting a second campaign so that they can distribute it into libraries is baffling to me.
I don't understand why children even need it's my word in the show, unnecessary. What do they need to know about it? It's all a plot and a tactic of the enemy to desensitize our children.
And not only that, but it is not anybody else's responsibility to talk to my child about abortion, especially in a way that's going to desensitize. Yeah. Because obviously it's something, unfortunately, it's something that our children will hear. They need to know that it is a problem in our society, but they need to know God's plan and God's intention, not to be desensitized by some book written by people who do this as a job.
Yeah. When my son asked me about it, Porter, who's 9, and I talked to him just a little bit about it, he actually cried. He's a child. He's a 9-year-old little boy. He couldn't believe it. So for me, it's heartbreaking to know that there are children sitting in classrooms knowing that inwardly they're struggling. It's not okay, but because the teacher's okay, it's confusing for a child. And that actually makes me angry too. And I think that it's okay. It's time for us to get a little bit of a righteous anger under our feet and under our belts and say, okay, we're going to say no, enough is enough.
We need to have books we can share with our children without fear of agendas or indoctrination. What books do you guys use for your family? Anybody want to jump in?
We love the Action Bible.
Action Bible, that's a good one.
We all have that, right?
Yep.
Porter loves reading comic books.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it's in that graphic novel form, he absolutely loves it. And is excited to read it. And I like it.
I need to get it.
It keeps it real.
It does.
It doesn't dumb it down. It keeps it real.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they show David's head cut off.
Right,
Like,
right. Exactly. I love that. It's a good point.
I love it.
Yeah, we love the Action Bible. We love the Mighty series, Dallas Shuttlesworth. And because they're just so beautifully illustrated and so real, and again, it's not dumbed down. It can be for kids of all ages, where it's a storybook, but the boys, Jameson loves it, Lennox loves it. It's just a good.
You can see the blood.
Yeah, they like
So
that.
good.
They like that.
Well, in our home, and I'm sure as I go through these, you guys have all had these too. I have a 10, 6, and 3-year-old. So start this, this little, my very first Bible. This has gone through all my kids. It's falling apart, but it's just cute and it's simple and it's easy, but it just talks about a lot of the Bible stories.
The key stories.
Remember these from when your kids were super. And then as they get older, we have these 5-minute Bible stories that the kids love. Quick, easy. For as they get a little bit older, Roman more likes this one.
Yeah.
And then, like Jean was just talking about, this was our favorite one from the Mighty series, Dallas Shuttlesworth, our girl. She's, her books are incredible. Yeah. We can't recommend these enough. It's just good.
Oh, and another good one is our friend of the show, Sarah Molitor, just wrote a book, I Grew With You, about moms and pregnancy and babies, which is, can't wait to get that one.
I know.
It's the opposite of what we talked about.
Yes.
The opposite of what we talked about last week.
Guys, can we just take a minute and look at this blood?
I mean, that's good.
The boys love it.
Can you get more real than that? What happened to Glide? He did not just fall down and pass out.
That's right.
Look what my God did. See that blood? Look at that. That stone sunk into that John's head.
And then he cut it off.
That's all I gotta say. That stone sunk.
One of the other ones, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Jesus Storybook Bible.
No, I haven't heard that.
No.
Beautiful.
Really?
Because it carries the story of Jesus. It intertwines the story of Jesus and salvation throughout. It's not just
cool.
It's not just your typical Bible stories. It is that, but in every story, I can't remember which specific stories are in the book, but in every story that's in that book, it ties the salvation message of Jesus into each story, and it's really well written.
What is it called again?
The Jesus Storybook Bible.
I'll have to look into that.
It's really good. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think something else too for me, I have to admit that I definitely slacked off with a Bible curriculum in homeschooling, mostly because I was just, because of COVID, thrown into homeschooling 4 kids just like that, and I let that one slide. Now, we do devotions as a family, so it's not, and they go to church, so it's not that they weren't getting it, but I think that's something that I really want to make it a point to be more intentional about, is that, yes, it's not required in any state. You don't require Bible, but it's the most important thing that they will hear.
Absolutely.
So just being able to tie that into our daily curriculum, and you can do it with all, so I have 5 kids. I can do it with all 5 of my kids, and there's so many, I haven't picked one out for this year, but there are so many Bible studies that you can use. It doesn't have to be a Bible curriculum, but Bible study books that you can do with your kids.
Thanks for joining our Sisterhood of Faith. If you have any interesting topics you would like to see us cover on the show, please let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out all of our full 30-minute episodes on FISM.tv/outspoken.